Church family, hi. Pastor Rich, just coming to greet you. Literally probably just talked for 10 minutes. I don't know when I did it, but I think I stopped the recording. I don't know. I can control things from my watch. That helps me to not have to move a lot. And I'm pretty sure I shut it off at some point. I said a whole bunch of stuff that I won't remember now. Wow. Today has been a really great day. It didn't start really great. I mean, it kind of did, but I was here in my office, and I was just this morning and pretty early on, and just feeling the weight of what we're in the midst of. The stay-at-home orders extended until the 15th. There's still some businesses that are closed until the 28th. It seems like every time we get close to the end of a stay-at-home order, we get another one. Groups of our church size, which isn't giant, but 200 people in a room together. I don't see that as in the really near future reality, although I believe that we will be able to maybe be creative outside of our live stream, the way that we have been. And so I just was feeling a lot of those feelings and kind of lamenting a little bit my frustration. And I want to encourage you that it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to wonder. It's okay to be frustrated and angry. It's okay. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to feel like you just don't know what's coming. It's okay to feel all those feelings. The range of all those feelings is okay. What's not okay for us as believers, for you as a believer, is to live in those feelings. The Lord asks us, I would say the Lord requires us. Keep bumping the table. I believe the Lord I would go so far as to say demands in love us to trust him no matter the circumstance, right? And there's a text that just escaped my mind right when I went to share it. But to trust God in all circumstances is definitely what he's asking of us. And so it's okay to have all those feelings, but have those feelings, pray those feelings to God, and then trust God in his answer to those feelings. Put your trust in God for those feelings. And trust him even though you cannot see the outcome ahead. I don't know when we're going to get back together. Or how, or what that's going to look like. But I trust God. And every time I get to the point of, okay, I trust you, God, your will be done, I can move on with fresh breath, with a kind of an air of ease in my step. It means everything in the course of my day. I've seen the Lord work miracles, miraculous work the Lord has done. He has grown my faith. He's grown my belief. I have no question about God. I have no question about the love that he has for us, those that choose him. Even those that don't choose him, man, does he love you? Does he love those that haven't chosen him and longs for them to make that choice? I have no doubt in God and his ability, and I know he's working. So I sit here in full trust of the Lord and in the direction that he has for us as a church family, in the direction he has for us as a community, as a state family, as a governmental, federal country's family, as a world family. I trust God in what he has in store for us. And so I just encourage you today to just continue to trust God in the process of today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough worry of its own. Today is the day that we have been given. Let us rejoice in today and be glad in it. I believe this Sunday coming up, we may be in Romans 10. Romans 10 verses 14, 15, 16, and 17 for Sunday's message. I don't know the title yet. I think it's the last one in the series of Believe. And if you, forgive me if I sound unprepared. I'm not. I just want God to lead me each week. And this series, I really haven't had like a giant plan of this many weeks and these texts specifically. I've just kind of been allowing God to lead me in this direction that I feel like we're supposed to be going. I'm sitting with the cross to my right, so in light of the cross and all the stuff we've been talking about with resurrection and Easter, and letting God lead me in that direction. This is my first year as a lead pastor, so this whole preparation every Sunday for Big Church is different. We worked through series in youth group. Every week we had a bunch of series and lesson stuff and preparation that we did for sure, and that we will do again once we can meet or figure out how to do that with video. I don't think students really love video, although I think they're okay with it on some levels. I'm rambling. So Sunday, Romans 10, verses 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now, Tracy, last Sunday, my wife, when she was leading in her worship segment, we'll call it segment, after our playlist, mentioned, she read from Romans 10, I think verse 10, where it says, For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you confess and are saved. She read even before that, I think, in verse 9, maybe 8 and 9. And I kind of made a joke. Oh, maybe that's going to be where we're at for this coming Sunday, and that's not where we're going to be at, but we're close. I did have on my whiteboard Romans 10 verse 17 written down as I was studying a few weeks ago when this whole series began. And I was just seeing that this morning and just thought, okay, let me start studying through that. Let's see what that is. And so I think we're going to be in Romans 10, 14 through 17 for Sunday. But Romans 10, 1 through 13, read that this week. Read before that if necessary. Read after that if that makes sense for you. I believe verses 18 to 21 are also important, but really are more for the historical learning, what's the word I'm looking for here? We can learn from those texts more on a historical level, like what did happen. Because Paul is speaking about the Israelites specifically in 18, 19, 20, and 21. And how they kind of have missed God in all of what has been happening in this point in Scripture. And he's speaking to the church in Rome, to the believers, the Romans. So we may touch on some of that on Sunday. Maybe even jump a little bit beforehand. I'm not quite sure. I just really think 14, 15, 16, and 17 have such a good message and direction in light of the resurrection that we've been living in since Easter, right? We live in light of the resurrection, and we carry the light within us. And and so I think we're going to be in that. Now, it's cool, Romans 10, verses 1 through 4 have a really great message as well. It says, Brothers, my heart's desire and prayer to God for the Israelites is that they may be saved. Speaking to the church in Rome, he is speaking to Gentiles, and he's speaking to the Gentile believers about the Jewish faith, about his brothers and sisters. I mean, Paul was a Pharisee. He was a leader of leaders. He was a Jew of Jews, however you want to call it. But in verse 2 he says, "For I can testify about them that they are zealous for God, but their zeal is not based on knowledge." Verse 3, "Since they did not know the righteousness that comes from God and sought to establish their own, they did not submit to God's righteousness." And then verse 4, "Christ is the end of the law, so that there may be righteousness for everyone who believes." As I've been studying for Sunday in Romans 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a little before and after, it's pretty clear that God was bringing to himself the entire world while he was separating and setting apart Israel as his sacred, his chosen. And from the study that I've been doing so far, it's pretty clear that this was just an example of what God was doing in the world in all of us. That he was bringing us all to himself, and those that were brought into the fold, those that chose him, became his sacred, his special, and were set apart for him. But he's drawing the whole world to himself, and he's doing this through Christ. And I don't know, I think the message may be pretty cool. It may change also. On Friday, I might have a completely different perspective, but that's where we're at. I'm rambling on and on about something that you're probably not that interested in. But God's word is everything, you guys. Hearing the message. And the message is heard through the word of Christ. That's the end of verse 17. Verse 17 says, "Consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word of Christ." You got to get into his word. So I'm encouraging you, I'm challenging you, I'm giving you homework again. Read Romans 10, 1 through 13. Read before it, read after it, read all of it, read 14 through 21 also. Read Romans 10, read Romans 11. I mean, just get in the Word this week. Specifically, hang out in that area. Make notes for yourself, questions. Gosh, email those things to me. Make comments on Sunday about that stuff. We can get some dialogue going. It's fun to learn and grow together. But be encouraged today. Be encouraged because God is on the throne. Be encouraged because God is going to make use of everything that we are going through. God is going to make use of the distance. God has always been drawing us. It just seems that through negative circumstance, we tend to be more open to the drawing. I know that my coming to Christ involved a really low point in my life, and it really took me to get to that low point to allow the thought of God to be a real thing for me. And so he's always drawing us, but we just tend as humans to only be willing to entertain the idea when things are bad. And so he is making use of this stuff that we're going through, this bad stuff. But this will not last forever, no matter what it may feel like or seem like. On the other side of this thing, we're going to be blown away by what God has done in our lives. And so study. Get in the Word today. Get in the Word this week. And know that Tracy and I and your other church leaders, your church board members, your Sunday school board members, your other mission committee and other committees, know that your church leaders are praying for you. And we're doing the very best that we can possibly do to reach out and stay connected. And we probably fail in a lot of ways. And for that, I'm sorry. But I do love you. I was up here praying at the altar this morning for some specific people, but I'm praying over these names. And man, I was just in tears. And I just have so much love for you. That I believe God is growing in me. And I'm so grateful to be in this position, although I never wanted to be, I'll be honest. But man, I'm always willing to do what the Lord is asking of me. And I'm so grateful to be in this position that I didn't want to be in. I'm so grateful to be able to lead you. I'm so grateful to be able to cry tears of joy and love for you. I'm so grateful to be able to pray for you. And I'm so grateful to be able to bring these videos and other messages and share my devos in the morning and to bring messages on Sunday to you because I love you. I believe that God is growing my love for you in this distance. And so be encouraged, because if he's growing my love for you, his love for you has never faltered, not even for a second. So turn to him, love him back, and trust him. And have a great day. I love you.